Good afternoon and welcome back to Girded with Truth. Thank you so much for joining us this week as we begin our new series, Build the Wall. We all have something that God has given us to build, and I'm using the analogy of building a wall. So today we're starting the very first session of Build the Wall. And the subtopic of this is a mind to work. Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 2 says, "Write the vision and make it plain, so that those that read it will run with it." And I'm reading this as a precursor to get into the message today, because everything is based off of a vision. No matter what it is you are building in this world, we must first have a vision. Whether it's a vision we have gotten ourselves, whether it be a vision from God, whether we create this idea of a vision in our minds, we all start off with a vision of what we see this thing becoming. So we all have a vision. And in order to bring this vision to pass, or in order to build the wall, we need to have a mind to work. David said in 1 Chronicles 22 verse 7, "And David said to Solomon, My son, as for me, it was in my mind to build an house unto the name of the Lord my God." So David had a plan. He had a mind to work. He had a mind to build the house of God. But then God spoke to him and said, "You executed too many people, you shed too much blood, so I will not have you build the house for me, but I will have your son Solomon build it." This is why this conversation is happening between Solomon and David. And when we get into building the wall, we are studying from the life of Nehemiah. Nehemiah chapter 2 verses 17 and 18 says, "Then said I unto them, Ye see the distress that we are in, how Jerusalem lieth waste, and the gates thereof are burned with fire. Come and let us build the wall of Jerusalem, that we be no more a reproach. Then I told them of the hand of my God, which was good upon me, as also the king's words that he had spoken unto me. And they said, Let us rise up and build. So they strengthened their hands for this good work." So here we are seeing Nehemiah with good intentions, wanting to build back the wall. And in Jerusalem it lied waste, and it was a reproach unto all the Jews. People were laughing at them and scorning them and all these different things because their city lieth waste. But here is Nehemiah with a heart full of good intentions, so that reproach will be removed from among his people, and he is ready to build the wall. And immediately after he realized he needs to build this wall, or he had a mind to build this wall, he realized, hey, I can't do this thing alone, so I need to mobilize me the right team. And now Nehemiah went and he told his heart to the people, and guess what? They caught the vision, because they said, "Let us rise up and build." So the people had a mind to work. They were ready to build the wall. But how many of you know that every time God is ready to move, every time God gives you a vision, there's always an enemy? Say, there's always an enemy. But God will always deliver you out of the hands of the enemy. And this week we'll see how God really delivered Nehemiah and his team out of the hands of the enemy. But today we're talking about having the right team with a mind to work. Nehemiah chapter 2 verses 19 and 20 says, "But when Sanballat the Horonite and Tobiah the servants, the Ammonite, and Geshem the Arabian heard it, they laughed us to scorn and despised us, and said, What is this thing that we do? Will ye rebel against the king? Then answered I them and said unto them, The God of heaven, he will prosper us. Therefore we his servants will arise and build. but ye have no portion, nor right, nor memorial in Jerusalem. So Nehemiah answered them, his enemies, his adversaries, the right way. As soon as it was time for him to build the work of the Lord, his adversaries showed up. They were laughing, they were scorning, they were against this work. They asked him if he would rebel against the king. But they did not know Nehemiah, being the man of honor that he is, already asked the king permission. He already had gotten the king's blessing, and so he moved into what he was supposed to do, what God wanted him to do. And here comes the enemies, ready to discourage his team, ready to stand against him. But Nehemiah did not answer the people first. He answered his team first. He encouraged his team in the work of the Lord to move forward with the vision, and then answered the enemies. And he did not tell them anything out of the way. He said, don't worry. We will build our wall. We will be successful. And you will have no portion in this memorial. So he put the boundary one time between them and him, the work of God, and the enemy standing against the work of God. So he was not timid in running away from the enemy, but he stood his ground, he stood firm, and he responded with the wisdom of God. You cannot be timid in this work of the Lord. You have to stand against your enemies, even if it's your family, even if it's your friend, even if it's those that are surrounding you. Matthew chapter 10 verse 36 says, a man's enemies will be the members of his own household. So sometimes there's enemies in your household. Sometimes the people within your own household are trying to stop you from going forward. But you, knowing the plan of God for your life, knowing what God has instructed you to do, have to have the fortitude, have to have the strength and the courage to go beyond it. Have to have the tenacity to not just stand against your enemies, but also continue to have a mind to work. Nehemiah chapter 4 verse 6 says, so built we the wall, and all the wall was joined together unto the half thereof, for the people had a mind to work. And this is so important. You need to partner with people who have a mind to work, because nothing will go anywhere if your team doesn't have a mind to work. You have to have the right people in the right positions doing the right things in order to have good success in your business, in your family, in your life. You have to have strategy, but more importantly, you have to have people with a mind to work. Whatever the vision is, you can make it as plain as possible. If the people you partner with don't have a mind to work, it will go nowhere. So today, I'm encouraging you, build the wall. Don't give up on that wall. Don't give up on that dream. Don't let go of the plan of God, because Nehemiah's intentions were good. He did not want it to be a reproach to the people, but more importantly, he did not want it to be a reproach to God. So Nehemiah purposed himself to build this wall unto God, to repair the breaches. And today, I am telling you, don't just have a mind to work, but have a team that has a mind to work. So you arise and build the wall. Get a team that has a mind to work, because you have a mind to work according to the vision of God. Thank you so much for listening. Have a wonderful afternoon. Bye.